This is the Simpit. I'm Andreas Martin Mørch. Welcome to Project Sim Racer. We hope you've all had a happy new year and have properly kicked off 2015. However, before we kick off 2015 at Project Sim Racer, we need to round up my 2014 sim racing endeavors. For the last week of the season, the Skip Barbers headed to 13 laps at Circuit Park Sandford. Coming into this week, I was still in a championship division lead, but I still needed a good result to make sure I could secure that position. I had time to practice more than I did in any of the other weeks, and it paid off as my qualifying time of 1 minute 54.157 got me within 1% of the anticipated pole time. I only raced once that week, which was in the Sunday strength field race, and with my iRating now up to 1782, I sneaked into the top split for the first time this season, ranked 15 out of 18 drivers in a field with a rating of 2333. Being graded third, this was a great opportunity to get some good points. Here the lights go off, and coming into turn 1 I got caught on the outside of the number 3 car, which allowed the 2 car to look up the inside. I held him off and cleared him coming into the Hugenholz hairpin. He got a good run on me coming out of turn 7, and he passed me into turn 8. I tried to cut back on him into turn 9, but got a little sideways on the exit, which allowed him to get alongside me again. Coming into turn 12, this allowed the 5 car to get past me as well, and I was now down to P5 after the first lap. Coming into turn 1 on lap 2, I managed to get past him again, but I made a mistake in the hairpin and we battled it all the way down to turn 6. I misjudged his position and we tangled wheels into turn 6. This allowed the number 11 car to get by me, and the 4 car quickly followed suit, with the 12 car also making an ambitious move into turn 7 while I was still assessing the damage. This hurt my exit and allowed the 6 car to get alongside me as well, but I did manage to hold him off. I got a little help from contact between the 2 cars in front of me, which gave me a free position and allowed me to pass the damaged 4 car as well, coming onto the start-finish straight on our way to the 3rd lap. I was now in clean air and had to catch up to the cars in front of me. On lap 5, the number 2 car spins, which gives me another freebie while battling the 11 car down to turn 7, where I managed to pass him. I was now in P4, 1 position off my starting position, and started hunting down the 5 car that I had contact with earlier. I was helped out by the fact that he damaged his front wing on a curb, and I slowly started to reel him in. On lap 10 I started to get close, and with his mistake in turn 6 I got a good run to make another pass in turn 7. But while I was able to close the gap between us up until that point, I still couldn't shake him off, and he put some serious pressure on me on the penultimate lap. On the final lap we were inches apart coming into turn 6, which left no room for errors. I braked earlier than what he expected, and that sent me around with a damaged rear wing and allowed the 6 car to get by me as well. That's not the first time. Let's see if I can bring it back. I was frustrated, but I stayed off the voice chat until I had a clear mind again. Oh man, I've got damage. The driver of the number 5 car apologized sincerely. Hey man, that's alright, we all make mistakes. And I do brake early in that corner, I know that. By the way, were you the guy I ran into at the same spot earlier in the race, or was it someone else? And with a cool head, we could sign out of the race in good spirits. Thanks again to him for the good sportsmanship after the mistakes from both of us. Despite all that, I managed to bring the car home in P5, which was a very good result, all things considered. I gained 70 iRating, lost 0.02 safety rating, and got 111 championship points. And that means I can now call myself the winner of Division 5 of the Skip Barber Race Series. It may not sound like much, but it was very rewarding after all that practice. So after the season I sat down with Shaun to reflect on this season and talk about future plans.
Well, that was really a remarkable feat. I mean, it's a lower ranked series, but I mean, you did everything. I don't want to say perfectly because there's always room for growth,
Right.
but I mean,
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I just want to congratulate you. So now it wasn't all just glory. You had some tough moments out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Why don't we take a little time? I want to kind of go backwards. I mean, we started out with some really remedial stuff. We talked about some threshold braking, some basic turn in. Do you feel like at some point that really paid off?
Yeah, I actually I made it a point to remind myself to practice these things again and again, even when I was at the point where it had become a natural thing.
Did you feel through this season that there was any common mistake that you were carrying with you that you felt like an area you really needed to work on more?
I wish I was a bit more careful when out there on my own. The two races you had with me, I did that perfectly. I don't know if that was you, but the race at Road America, I had a 6 second gap and I spun out, and that was completely unnecessary. So there's still some basic things I need to work on, even though I have proven to myself that I have the pace now.
Cool. One thing that I found pretty remarkable in the races that I watched you was a level of consistency. Any moments from the season that really stand out as like highlights for you?
I think in terms of consistency, the first race was actually the best one. But the reason I'm not as consistent in the later races is that I get some peak moments where I have a really good lap. But actually, I have a very consistent baseline lap that I can run each and every lap. And then sometimes I go beyond that. So my lap times are less similar now, but I'm still, in that sense, very consistent.
Okay.
But actually, the highlights of the season was the very last race, which was my first race in a top split. So I was under a lot of pressure, and I made some rookie mistakes and pushed it too hard into the corners to defend my position. But just clawing my way back to third, even though I ended fifth because of the last lap crash. I mean, that was a highlight for me.
And obviously, that was the most you were tested all season long. So, you and I talked a little bit about the path for the future, but we haven't really ironed anything out.
Right.
Your original goal was very clear. So I'll take you back to that original goal, but you wanted to be the champion. You wanted to beat the likes of a Gregor Hutu and a Nazi Kirchhoff. You've obviously had the ultimate success in your division in the Skip Barber class. You could stick around in the Skip Barber. You're going to be running in a much harder division, so it'll be a lot harder to win another championship. The other thing you can do, you're now at a B license. That's right. I'm sorry. You're at
a few weeks,
C3.5, I believe. And
like
so you're not far away from getting that B license. Get it up to a 4.0, you'd be able to be eligible for the Formula One car. That's still a little ways off, but you are now capable of running in the Star Mazda class. So have you given a lot of thought to your path? I mean, do you have a preference on one or both or either of those?
I think my main focus is going to be the Star Master next season, but I will be running in the Skip Barber because I feel like I have some unfinished business there, especially after the last race where I finally met some real competition, real hard competition, and I think it's just a very good car for improving my racecraft, really, because it will punish you for those mistakes.
Yes, absolutely. Now, and are you going to focus on the championship? I mean, it was very clear when you got into the Skip Barber that you were going for a championship. You got a lot of race wins in your pursuit of it, and you won that championship. Bam, mission accomplished. Do we have a very clear goal right now that we're setting? I
think I'll be running a lot more races than I did with the Skip Barber series, and not just focus on the high strength of field slots. Which means that, if I get into a bunch of low points races, those races will average out throughout the week and may not give me as many points as if I just ran those high points races and did well in those. So, there's a little bit of compromise, but just because I want to get as many races in as I can. I want to get out there in traffic a bit more. I mean, I'm not gonna run 10 races a day. I'm still gonna be spending most of my time in solo practice sessions probably. But this season I only ran. There were several weeks where I only ran one race, and I don't get enough experience from that.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, well, and ultimately with our goal, I mean, the goal you set forward wasn't any individual little championship. It was a greater good goal. And the only way you're going to get into the race against the likes of a Gregor and a Nazi are by getting your iRating up to an extreme level and then jumping up to the Williams Formula One car for now. So it sort of doesn't matter as long as your main goal right now being just iRating. And you've said it a few times in Strength of Field.
In the next episode, we will have finalized these plans and we'll start off my sim racing career for 2015 and beyond. So, that's all we've got for now. Make sure you go to thesimpit.com for extra Project Sim Racer material, and then I'll see you in the next episode. This is The Simpit. I'm Andreas Martin Mørch. Thanks for watching Project Sim Racer.